Oh, I forgot what you said with regards to posting the links. Did you say you got that? Did you say you got that? Is someone gonna be able to do it? Is someone gonna be able to do it? Is someone? I'm not seeing. Okay, I'll post the links. Got it.
Let me see. Good to hear. Let's hope your execution matches your enthusiasm. I've got a job for you if you're looking to keep busy. Here are the details.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Soul Talk, where we talk to our citizens and members of the community. I'm your host, Fastcart FC, also known, just call me Fastcart or FC, depending on what you want. Don't call me Fastcart. And today I'm joined with my co-host today, Kalrati, another member of Soul Citizens. How are you doing, Kalrati?
Hey, Fast Carl, I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be here. Hey, everybody. It's great to see everyone lively here. I'm really excited to see what we have to offer and talk about tonight.
Yeah, so I just got to say, since you're a co-host, you're not going to be banning me from making jokes, right? Because
I'm still gonna be banning you. I don't care. I'm still gonna be banning you. In fact,
while you're on the show,
I don't. Here we go.
Oh, see, okay, but don't you? While you're on the show, man, what do you think you are, Griffin? You got White Castles over there? You're not Griffin, man. You don't have that kind of, you're
gonna kill
grace
me,
and elegant that he does. You get me doing that. No, but how's your weekend?
So far, so good. I actually came down with it's a little cold, but I'm actually recuperating slowly. So, yeah, I'm getting back into the game. Coincidentally, I am playing through 18.1 as we speak. But I have to divert attention to the show. So,
of course, yeah. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But I gotta get asked, how hot is it where you are?
I mean, since I'm here, it's extra hot. But if you're talking about the temp, I'm just joking, guys. If you're talking about you're talking about the temperature?
Yeah, I'm talking about the temperature.
Oh, let me Google that because this is very embarrassing.
On the East Coast, we have, I don't want to say a heat wave can only be 1 day, but we're in the mid-80s in Boston, and I think down in New York and New Jersey, they're similarly warm, and it's going to be in the high 70s tomorrow. So this is all Fahrenheit, obviously, but this is warm for April. It was like 40 degrees last week.
It's around that temperature too, because earlier today it was since we're talking Fahrenheit, it was about 70. It felt bad. Like 85.
Oh, it felt like 85.
But at night,
okay.
Last night it was like 72, but tonight it's like 79, but it feels like 82. Okay. So yeah. So it's around there. Cool. It's around there.
All right. Well, thank you for being on. Appreciate it. Hope you have fun. And don't make me regret inviting you on.
Oh, you will.
So let me do my thing. We can get this show started,
Do
shall
your
we?
thing.
All right. So I think everyone will get this, but I'm going to do my best impersonation. Won't do it justice. Just letting you know. But here we go. Good morning, Lefty. Hey, this is not a test. This is Rhythm and Blues. Time for the rocket to Delta to the DMZ. Is that me or does that sound like a Wayne and Julie movie? Everyone should get that one. Okay, you may be young. You may not have known that.
Oh, no, I should get it because it's on the tip of my tongue. It's good.
There you go.
Oh.
You so got it. There you go.
Oh, man.
Good morning, Vietnam. I know it's over 20 years, but it's been on my list and I've been meaning to do it because it's just a classic. Robin, who doesn't love Robin Williams? So, yeah. So, okay, let's bring people down and get this show on the road. So I'm bringing people down now.
Hello, hello.
Okay, we're joined by Boss Lady. No, but you want to, how do you want to be addressed, Boss Lady? You want to be called B, Boss Lady B, or what?
Whatever you want to call me, I will respond to it.
Don't do that. Don't open
Yeah,
up
you
the
see, I'm
door.
giving you the look right now. I'm giving you the
Just
look.
call me boss. Just call me boss. There we go. Is that better?
Boss. Okay, we're joined by Fifth Face, Kaizen, and Poppin' Face. And I just want to talk to people out in chat. I see new soul Poppin' Face. Nihilus, how you doing, Nihilus? Don't see you here often. Jade, and Nomad, and Starts Up Ender, and Black Sky Legion. Okay, that's Kai. But yeah, because you don't have the same name, I call you out twice, but that's fine.
So, Boss Lady, to answer your question, I did not land that ship, no.
Oh, okay. Because it's on fire, you know.
Yeah.
FC, let me get one. Can I get one? See if people can guess this one.
What is it?
All right. We ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you can't do that. No, that's within 24 hours. I know what it is. I know what it is.
No,
but that's within 24 hours.
No.
It's clearly the Devils and Miss Jones from the 1970s.
Yeah, obviously. His divine starter got it. But for people who don't want to know spoilers, I'm not going to say what that is. But people who know
don't say what it is.
In the know.
Definitely not in the know here.
All right, so up first, I know we normally start off with a sneak peek, but first of all, before we do that, I just want to send this to Jay Lee about Jay Lee. Jeremiah Lee, he says, with a heavy heart, I would like to announce this date, the last day at Cloud Imperium Games. This was last Friday, so we weren't able to cover this last Thursday. I've had so many wonderful memories with my CIG family, and I have learned so much in the last 8 years. Thank you, CIG and the community. My life has been so wonderful because of you, all of you. So yeah, Friday was Jeremiah Lee's last day. He's going to be sorely missed. He's a good guy. But if you want to follow him, just click on the link. Hopefully, Kalrati will put the link in the chat. And then you can click on him and go to see his Twitch channel. I think you have a YouTube channel too, but go to his Twitch channel and follow him. And hopefully, you don't have access. Okay, I'll fix that later. But yeah, Jay, if you can put the link in chat, I would appreciate it. Thank you. If you are here, Jay.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah. Sorry.
So real quick, does anyone have any fond memories of Jay Lee or Jeremiah Lee?
So many.
So
many. Just all of the streams that he's done, the back and forth repertoire that he and Jared have together. It's like they're like a little old married couple that are constantly like picking at and criticizing and whatever each other, but done with so much love. And I think that Jay Lee has like a very particular set of skills in that, like, there's tons of people that can do computer art or programming or do like the stuff on the artistic side, and you know the industry is full of them. But to get someone who has the ability to do all of that at his level and also has the sort of tact and charisma to go on screen and represent the company in front of all of the sweaty nerds is a rare talent skill, and so he will do great things. And I hope that we see him go for a year or two, make some big plays with some other company, and then come back to this project with a big new title and whatnot. So
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah, by the way, I know we spoke on this on last Saturday. I gave my my thoughts and best wishes to Jeremiah Lee. I did reach out to Disco. Unfortunately, he said that the episode that him and Jeremiah, when they were singing No Scrubs, they do not have the audio any longer. Yeah, I was asking for it, but it's okay. I understand. It's no worries.
Wait, they got hit for a song that they did on stream?
No. They didn't get hit. I was asking for.
Oh, but they don't have it. Okay.
They don't. Disco claims that they don't have those files any longer.
Okay.
No worries.
Big Black Gaming, thank you for the 500 bit. Appreciate it. Thank you.
GG.
So yeah, anyone else?
Oh, I mean, I think he's etched his place in everybody's heart, and that's been in Star City. Even though he hasn't been on in quite some time, I think everybody that's been around probably for at least maybe 3 years probably knows him. And,
Yeah, I just hope that everyone send their condolences to Jared, because they were the best odd couple.
Yeah, I have something. I loved the things that Jay Lee designed, and I really hope whoever replaces him can, like, I don't know, just carry on, even if the female character model stuff that he designed never made it into the game. But I am very very sad that he's leaving, because like he was one of those people, kind of like Paul Jones, who also is no longer there, that when he'd come on, it just sort of like brightened up the show. Like, you knew there was going to be something fun, especially if it was Star Citizen Live, if Jay Lee was on. Yeah.
We definitely need that sloth. Oh, go ahead.
Well, go ahead. Well, no, what was that?
I was just gonna say we definitely need that sloth alien in the game. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did some of the hairstyles for Griffin's wife. What's her name?
Pacheco.
Yeah, I think he did. There were a bunch of extra hairstyles. I think he came up with. If he didn't, I apologize and whatnot. But yeah, I think he did that. So yeah. My friends with him, I met him twice. Met him in 2016 on the CIG tour. It's been 3 years, so I can talk about it. I'm no longer under NDA. No, I'm kidding. But one thing I will say is that this was back when Red One was a popular meme. I don't know if people remember that, Red One. So one of these community members made these Red One pin that you put on your clothing, and he gave me a bunch of them, so I brought them on the CIG tour. And during the tour, I said, would anyone like one of these Red One pins? I have an extra. And Jay Lee said, I do. so Jared took it from my hand. He was polite, and it wasn't yanked or anything, but he took it from my hand and just tossed it over to Jay Lee. He was so sick of hearing Red One by that, but that was funny. Oh boy, so yeah, that was Jay Lee. He will be mad. He's not dead on the thing, but he moved on from the project. So yeah.
I wonder, will he still show up to CitizenCon this year, though? At least
I would love to see him there. I mean, as far as I remember, I don't recall other CIG employees who were no longer with the project come to CitizenCon, but I've only been there twice, so I don't know. All right, so up next we have the sneak peek. I'm going to go full screen so people can take a look. But the subtitle is Spirit is Fighting the Green. And I guess we can all, I mean, it's probably the same one that did a couple of weeks back, but who else want to say what it is?
this is now the road to pyro right now. Okay, this is the third time they're showing the Santok Yai.
Mhm.
Road to Santok, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm definitely guessing we're going to see this during Alien Week after Invictus Week.
Mm-hmm.
And we have like over a month and a half before Invictus. So yeah, STY. I love that. I love that abbreviation. That's cool. So yeah, any thoughts? Anyone interested in getting it? I think I expect on this. I think it's a single seater.
No, I'm not a fan of green, but I do like this green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll earn it in game.
It is
Yeah,
the big.
likewise.
Yeah, most alien
is-
ships I'll earn. Sorry, go ahead.
It's the big brother of my absolute favorite ship in the game. The Kartual, I think, is the most beautiful ship in the entire game.
Likewise.
And
Mm.
the Santok Yai is the big brother. I think it's a beautiful ship. I think it's amazing, and hats off to everybody who's an enthusiast of it.
Yeah.
Cool. Boss Lady, do you have any thoughts about this?
Ooh, I am undereducated on this one. It looks sexy in the photo.
Okay.
Remember, if you remember, B,
I-
during the last free fly, I had told you the Kartual was like my
Oh, I
favorite, and you tried
that.
that one. This is the big brother of that. It's very similar.
Ooh, that's going to be exciting. Yeah, I love the way it changes form. I love the lines on it. Yeah, it's pretty.
The one thing I noticed is that they have the logo in the lower left now, and that's new. And I think it's because because of a certain channel in Mexico started stealing CIG stuff. They want to label everything from now on, and this is why we can't have nice clean images anymore. We have to have the logo.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is the sneak peek.
They should go the other way. The CIG should start putting out commercials for their ships and have those Mexican dancing girls from the Super Bowl commercial. Yeah.
No, that is Drake week for IAE. Drake.
Just give us
yeah.
their outfit. Just give us their outfit.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is the sneak peek. And there's no ISC or SCO this week, so we're gonna do things a little bit differently today. So first off, we got this from this is the RSI official account. Who can identify this ship component or the ship this component is from? And don't cheat and look at the link. But I can make it bigger now. Oh yeah, because I did it. Hold on. Yeah, that's a bigger picture. I can zoom in some more if you want.
It's a
What are you saying
hula
this is, FC?
Say it again.
What did you say this was?
component.
What ship? What
Oh,
ship is this from?
It's a component from a ship, and he's asking.
RSI?
No.
Would be my first guess. But anything.
Crusader.
Wait, I gotta look that up because I forgot what manufacturer it is. No, it's not. I don't think it's RSI now.
No. Oh. Well,
Crusader? No.
Yeah, the Crusader doorways have that kind of circle look to them, whatever. But so does some of the Origins.
It could be
But
that. Go
what?
ahead.
no, you.
Oh, I was gonna say it could be Consolidated Outland. I'm looking at the angles.
No, my bad. It is RSI. I'm mistaken. I'm sorry. It is RSI.
Give me my
I
props.
Okay. I look
Pops
it
wins.
up.
I'm just kidding.
Pops wins.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what is it?
I win a truck, right?
You win a truck. No.
Actually, you win a brand new merchantman, not from Soul
man.
Citizens, a special gift from fastcart. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Stephanie. There you go.
Damn.
Why do I put up with this every week? No, the answer is well, let me click on this and people can see. There it is. So it's the RSI Mantis in two. I forgot Mantis. The Mantis was RSI. So that was my mistake. But yeah, the Mantis.
Nice,
Alright.
nice.
So thank you for playing. You win a Koopy prize. Koopy doll. All right. So up next we have. Well, this is also from the RSI Twitter account. Did you catch all these Easter eggs that appeared during our first season of Inside Star Citizen this year. Let us know your favorite one, and we'll drop your link to the mobile wallpaper version. So you can see there's 8 of them so far in this season. And, whenever they cut away from the main show in between the last segment and when Jared speaks last at the end of the show, they have this thing on the screen. And these are all the Easter eggs that they had on the screen at the end of the show. So, yeah, does anyone have a favorite?
Yes.
I love the moon.
I
coming out of the buddies.
I love the one with Pico and the Vandal with the wig.
Yeah.
The
Lady
third
in
one
the
at the
Tramp.
top.
No, the one at the
No,
top
come
in the
on.
middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
funny.
top middle. Okay.
Mhm,
All right. I
mhm.
see what you're saying. Mine
Uh,
would be bottom. Like second from the right would be
Second
Lady
from
in
the
the
right.
Tramp.
Lady in the Tramp, yeah.
Lady in the
So
Tramp.
Pop mentioned it.
Mhm.
All of these have a similar theme. They're all from movies. Can anyone
Yeah.
guess what movie each one
So-
is from?
yeah, I can
My-
tell you mine.
Mhm.
Well,
My
mine's is.
favorite one, the moon one, is definitely from E.T.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mine's is Titanic.
Titanic.
for me.
You know
Wait a minute.
what I thought that, but I wasn't sure that was
That's
Titanic. I had to skip that
I
one.
didn't get that. So
Yeah.
the top middle one is
Mhm.
Titanic.
Yep,
Yep.
Titanic.
Oh, I
Now I
didn't
see
get
it.
that. Okay, so what's the one top right? What is that one? What is that? With the
Well, if you look at the top right, or okay, let me get a better picture of it. And Citizen Shenanigans, thank you for the subscription for 21 months. Appreciate it. Thank you. Oops, I didn't mean to click on that. Okay, so that's fine. All right, so so that is this is the one from the top left. I forget. I mean, I think I know what this is from, but we'll go out the answers in a bit. But does anyone recognize where this is from? Obviously, that's Pico.
Oh,
Right.
no idea.
Right, yeah, obviously it's right. But
Maybe
where's
like
it
Ocean?
from?
Nomad got it. The Thing. Nomad got it.
Oh, I've never
Really?
seen it. So
Yeah, the
I
Thing.
wouldn't know.
Okay. Yeah. It definitely.
Yeah.
We even watched that movie.
Yeah,
the other
we did,
weekend.
but we didn't watch
We
the.
should
We
have
didn't look
gotten
at.
that.
You didn't watch the original
Right.
one. Yeah, we didn't look at the poster. But yeah,
That's
Yeah.
it's E.T. obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Amblin Entertainment
What is
logo
that
they use.
one though?
Well, if you look at it close, you got
That's the
two
one I'm trying to
Scorpius.
Oh wait, that's the Star Wars
Exactly.
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh,
No,
it is?
the other one.
They're flying
Oh.
over Andor. Wait, the other one?
Okay.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. The one where they're flying over
Okay.
Endor with the Ewoks. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Return of the
Gotcha.
Jedi.
Okay.
Return of the
And
Jedi.
they use
Gotcha.
the X-wings. Okay. That's
Yeah.
Mhm.
all right. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Nice. But there was just
Okay, this
one.
one should be
Well,
easy.
Indy. Yeah,
Indiana
Indiana
Jones.
Jones,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy.
All
My
right.
favorite.
Well,
Oh,
wait a
yeah.
minute. Hold on.
Yeah,
Now, is
yeah,
it
that's
Alien
easy.
or is it Spaceballs?
Either way.
Ooh.
Well, I mean,
Ooh.
Spaceballs was sending up
Hello,
the
my
alien
baby.
scene, so
Hello,
you
my
gotta go with
darling.
Alien.
Hello, my.
Right.
The
So
John Hurt
No,
moment.
It's Alien. It's Alien.
Yes.
It's
It could be.
Now, wait a
Spaceballs,
minute.
Too.
Colossal says it's aliens, but other people are saying
No,
alien.
without
No,
the S.
Alien.
Without the S.
Alien without
first
the
one.
It was alien.
Well, in
Okay.
all of the
Yeah.
Alien movies, that same thing
True.
happens. So,
No,
Yeah,
but that's
okay.
specifically John Hurt on the table now.
I get it.
Yeah.
I called it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Next.
this one. Okay, yeah. Pop got this one already. You want to say it again, Pops?
There you go, Lady in the Tramp.
Lady Tramp.
Sorry.
You turn name Pop now, mess with you. No, yes, Lady in the Tramp. I love that scene. That might be a good movie to rewatch. I haven't seen that in ages. I don't even remember
Wow,
it.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
I think I've only seen it once.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
I think I've ever seen it. I only saw clippings.
All right. I don't even know what year it is. I want to say 70s, but I'm not sure.
Hmm.
And this one.
definitely.
Oh, Ratatouille.
There you go.
Really?
Ratatouille.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. You see Pico in the hat?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense now.
I didn't see that.
How did-
Good catch.
But how did you get Ratatouille?
Because that was in the movie. The
That
rat
was in the movie.
hat,
Remember,
but
he
telling the
was-
chef what to do.
Oh, the rat was okay.
Ratatouille.
All right, so I think up next we have all the answers to all of them. Yep, this is from Battlesphere, Star Citizen Black Pit, Battlesphere 87. So, like I said, the number one was the thing.
Oh, you didn't
Number
even do
two-
Pacific Rim.
Which
Yeah,
one?
well, they didn't show the they didn't do a Pacific one for that
okay.
one. So yeah,
Okay.
they had Death Stranding, Titanic, E.T., Return of the Jedi, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, Alien Without the Air, Pacific Rim, Ladies in Trap, and Ratatouille. And if you go back to the thing, you can see,
Right.
yeah, the middle bottom one.
Oh, the middle
Pacific
one.
Rim.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
the
was
middle one.
Death Stranding. Okay, that makes sense.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that one with
Me
Yeah.
neither.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that one either.
I mean, I knew Pacific Rim. I could see that with Pico.
Okay,
down
but
there.
wait a minute. Which one? Second from the left on the top with it holding
That's
all
Death
the
Stranding. That's
Yeah.
actually, you know what? That's not a
What is it?
movie though. That's a video game.
That's a video game, I know.
So how
That's
is
what-
this? This is not
that's-
all right.
They
It's
cross
media.
genres.
It's media.
Okay.
It's a movie-like game.
Yeah, like I mean, if you play the game, it's almost like a movie, right?
I guess so.
I
yeah.
never played, so I wouldn't know.
I don't know. I don't know either. Yeah.
All right, so I'm next we have and this is from CIG or the RSI Twitter account, and here's a bonus mobile wallpaper for everyone else who did not request the a mobile wallpaper from one of the others. So here we go. Can anyone guess what this is from?
Oh yeah, that's the hover quad. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
That's
the
when we got-
JPEG.
Yeah,
That's the JPEG.
that was a series of interesting events.
That's the JPEG.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you gotta love when CIG trolls us.
What is what's the red button for? Do you know? Do you know? Cal?
I don't know. That's
Yeah,
fire
okay.
again.
No, we don't know.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire. So thank you for playing along. Appreciate it. Okay, so here's a bit of a discussion. I'm not sure how long we're gonna spend on this, but last week announced that CID will be doing wipe, and there was a wipe today from 318.1. So this is from Paul Shelley, the actor pub. He says, so CID announced that both Star Citizen 318.1 and 318.2 will have full wipe before release. Does this make you upset? Now he already posted the result for the I think it went on for like a day or so. But obviously, you can see my vote. But I've been with Project for a while, and so the results are absolutely unacceptable. 6.8%. Yes, this makes you upset. 13%. No, this does not make you upset. 23.8%, and I expect right 56.4%. So my question to you all is: are you surprised by the result of this poll?
I'm surprised. Actually, I'm personally surprised that it's such a low number of people that are upset. I don't at all fault CIG for doing the wipe. I think it's smart. I think they should and needed to do a wipe. I fault them for being stupid enough to say very exactly, specifically, we will not do this wipe. And then a couple weeks later saying, my bad, we'll do this wipe. CIG needs to learn to shut the hell up about timeframes and promising stuff that they can't deliver. I think it's a good idea to do the wipe. They needed to. They just shouldn't have said, we're not going to do it. That's what pisses people off. I love them. I support the project. They need to learn.
But specifically for the question, the poll result, you said the poll
I'm
result
surprised.
That surprised you. You think there would be more yes?
I would think more people would be mad just because they had just come out. Xylo specifically said, we will not do it. That's the thing that I think would make people mad. I'm glad that so many people are accommodating on the subject.
Okay. So
I mean, at
how
the
about
same
anyone
time,
else? Go
we
ahead.
kind of have to wonder if another content creator would have posted, who may be existing on the opposite spectrum, in terms of criticism, how the feedback would be. Because I mean, this all depends on the following, So I would have been curious if other content creators would have posted the same thing to see the result. I mean, personally, I expect the wipes, but I don't feel as strongly as Kai, but I do definitely see where he's coming from with regards to what CIG said. Because that was like, whoa, not only for 318.1, but 318.2. double whammy. But it was unexpected. One thing I told myself was that I was gonna go really, really slowly for 318 because I didn't know what was gonna come or what was coming. But I mean, personally, I expect wipes all the time. But yeah, I was surprised to see, at least for this poll, that everyone. I was pleasantly surprised to see that everyone, the majority of folks, said they expect wipes. But once again, I'm
Yeah.
curious to see if other content creators would have posted this. Will be the outcome as well.
Yeah, Danger Hobo posted part of my response. I'll just read it real quick. He said, the ultimate fan base cultivate those type of viewers. Like, when you say those type, people who would expect it for wipe, who would not be surprised by wipe. And the same poll would get a different result by a different content creator. So, yeah, that was
Right.
that's my thing. So yeah, I too was surprised by these results. I was expecting more yes answers, but because of the Paul Stelly is one of those OG or close to OG streamers, those people have been around for a while, so they respect these kind of things. But people who may be newer will definitely say yes. So I can understand how he got the results that he did.
I think we can all agree though that the wipe needs to happen.
Yeah, we all do. We
Oh,
all
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I didn't want to spend too much time. I just thought that whole results was interesting. All right, so up next we have. Oh yes. Oh, let me reload just to make sure. Okay, great. Something might have changed in the past
Later.
3 hours since I did it. But yeah, honestly, we haven't seen all green for a long time. But I want to say a month now, but since we've seen all green. But this is the status.robertspaceindustrial.com's page. So it gets the operational, platform operational, persistent universe operational, electronic access operational. And they had some issues yesterday, but it was resolved. So yeah, the 318.1 is a go.
Unicorn.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
right? Right.
Go get your lotto tickets.
I mean, generally, I think it usually is all green. It's just been a
Not
while
lately.
since we've seen it. Yeah, not lately.
Yeah.
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 And that leads us to Star Citizen Alpha 318.1 live. I'm not going to read that now. I'm a patch note. So yeah, the patch went live 2 days ago. I had to look at my calendar just to get the right date. But yeah, they're strongly recommending people delete their user and shader folders. I think they said that you don't have to do that anymore. Is that correct, Kalrati or Jade, or
That you don't have to delete your user folder?
delete user folders and shader folders for the public time before patching?
I would say to always do it just to be safe.
Always do it.
I don't think I've ever heard. Yeah.
I thought there was a thing that you didn't have to do anymore. But
I think you're right. I think you're right, Fastcart. You don't have to, but it's still probably smart to.
Yeah. Okay. So what the devs actually said was that the shaders absolutely, but they didn't know why they still post deleting the user folder, because the shaders used to be in there, and that was like the main reason to delete the user folder. But I agree. I always, because of habit, I just delete both of them.
So, but basically, if you just delete the shader photos, you should be good, because the user photo had all your customizations and stuff.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, exactly. It has your keybinds if you set up custom keybinds.
Well, you could export it and re-import it too, but yeah. Some people don't consider that a hassle. But yeah. So after that, I say database reset. Yes. Yeah, just like they told us. Long-term persistent, disabled, full wipe, and reset. Starting with AUEC 200,000 credits. So yeah. The game client, no issue. The game client may close without error or crash handler. ASOP handlers are unusable and fade to black when accessed. I think that a lot of these have been known issues for a while. Is there anything new or Harvester project? No, that's been there. Trams out, I think that's been there. Elevators and trams are that's just a permanent thing on these patch notes, right? The elevators and trams.
I mean, yeah.
When flying another ship, seems to hit it. Yeah, we've seen that one before. Reclaim a main elevator control panel does not respond to input. I don't know if I don't recall that one. That might be something new. I'm not sure. equipping more than 5 components in a single save and encrypt VMA transaction will fail. Oh, that's new. So equipping 5 or more than 5 components in a single save and encrypt transaction will fail. So it only do 4 at a time, I guess. So that's something good to know. There are numerous suits, better animations that will have a chance to kill, injure the player inside the ship. Okay, that, yeah.
I learned that the hard way without reading the patch notes.
Okay, good thing we're going over these. We claim cargo may be invisible for multiple ships after being purchased. When attempting to start a refinery job, players may receive the following error, something went wrong, error code 20. Security contract evaluation not be offered upon failure. That's been there before. Combat service weekend progress, rating inconsistent on mission. Security work assessment remain hostile NPCs not spawning in. I think I've seen that before. PTV reels at origin BTR area can clip into geometry, become detached from vehicles. We've seen that one before. The stuff by the attached to constellation like interaction prompt at you entering it, making it unusable. That's definitely been there. That's been there for like a while now. I don't want to even guess how long that's been there. Some ship records erroneously give no material text and do not let you salvage. Markers will randomly disappear after quantum with no travel route set. Out. That sucks.
Yeah, for that one,
yeah.
I think you have to let the I forgot what it's called. I think let me just do it really quick. The spool at the very top reach to 100 before they can reappear for you. So don't disable it if you don't see any if the quantum markers disappear. Just let it go to 100, and they should reappear for you.
Okay, cool. Excuse me. So features update gameplay initial ship delivery. This change will make it check how you obtain your vehicles when logging into the game for the first time after its database reset. I think we covered that. That's from 3.18.0, I believe. Arena Commander customization temporarily disabled. I don't think we've seen that one before. We've implemented improvements to the API that manages ship customization in Arena Commander and are explain more, which we believe will further alleviate issues with entitlement. While these changes are being tested, ship customization and Arena Commander will temporarily be disabled for 3.18.1. You will still be able to select ships from your hangar as well as REC rentals. However, we will be providing several vehicle loadout changes in AC so that you can use in the meantime with upgrading fuel generators and weaponry that we have selected. This will temporarily update the loadout to the base Gladius, L, and Blade. Changes will be temporary. Customization will be re-enabled in the following update. The next update will also include general fixtures that didn't make it for 3.18.1 release and or were blocked by issues but persistent into the experiment. So that's good to know for Arena Commander.
So I also wanted to include a little thing with regards to that. I don't know if it was intentional, but the 3 ships that they mentioned there, the Arrow, Gladius, and Blade, they're also available in the PU. I don't know if it was a flaw. I had to like kind of double check to see if it wasn't just me or if it was other people and other persons have access to it in the PU. It's not just Arena Commander, so you can always check and see. Just to confirm, if you go to the ASAP terminal, and it should be there for you in the PU as well.
Cool. I'm gonna read these last couple of things before the Bugfest, and then we're going back to the people to talk about some of this stuff. So density manager, thank you for that, Kalrati. So density manager optimization, updated density manager values to be more aggressive. We're removing unneeded entities in PU to improve server client performance. Made additional optimization to loot generation. So yeah, free fall. Any thoughts about anything we've covered so far in this past note?
I think definitely doing more work to keep the databases clean and clean up on that. That's great and good on them, and keep going.
Cool. All right. So, did anyone have any of the bugs or anything really affect someone? Like, does someone have a constellation they really want, or they really like to use at their home base, or people don't really just read them and get around them, or use the workaround and stuff like that?
I actually wanted to earn a consolation after 3.18 too, but if this bug, is the way it is and it's not
I mean,
fixed,
the only thing
well,
that's wrong with it is that you can't use these num fighters. You can still use it.
that's why I wanted it.
Well, you can get
Because
a normal Merlin or the normal Archimedes.
I mean, yeah, but I wanted to, like keep it in space, near the moon, and just fly down.
Okay. All right. So then we got the bug fixes. Player crashing out quick mid using an ASOP terminal should no longer brick it and make it unusable. That's good to know. And players should now be able to pick up, interact, and repair drops in Arena Commander. Fix an issue causing players to occasionally be unable to exit ship sheet. Gas clouds should no longer cause a memory leak. Fix various issues on Arena Commander where waiting for players count would fall below 0, which would cause the match to never start. So out of all these bug fixes, or they were actually any of these that are not actually fixed, because sometimes that does happen.
To answer Danger Hobo's question, you can still fly them to your planes to the space station, but it's essentially for persons with a lot of ships. But if you want, you can always call your ship at your default landing zone and apply the plane there. But you then have to, wherever you are, you then have to reclaim it and all that. But I think it'll be better to just fly everything to the space station and then call your ship there, because you wouldn't have to claim it anymore from your landing zone.
Cool, thank you. All right. So that's it for the patch notes, unless any last minute comment. But okay. So up next we have, the Portfolio Widow. I didn't get a chance to read these, but this is a pretty long one. But it's basically talk about the Bug Widow. So if you're interested in the lore, check that out. Anyone interested in Widow in the game?
I just want to make money selling it.
Well, don't use your own product. That's not.
I don't do drugs. I just sell them.
Yeah, take it from me. This is why I'm coughing so much.
Oh my.
Okay. Don't do drugs, kid. Drugs bad. Anyway, up next. Okay, so this is the Squadron. I'm sorry. Let me restart. This is the Squadron 42 monthly report for March 2023. We covered this last week because it was in a newsletter from Squadron 42 newsletter. But this is basically just saying the same thing that we covered last week, talking about healing between AI characters, the Titan mechanized platform that they've been working on, and AI grenade throwing. You covered that last week. We also covered the ongoing fauna work continued, and animation delivering blackout to creatures, and shortly move on to task for a dog. And mocap is shot for various narrative scenes and gameplay elements. So yeah, if you want to, should not discover Squad 42 monthly report, because there's a lot of stuff in there, but it's not really, I don't want to say it's like context, but they try to be spoiler free with regard to the game. So yeah, so this is the reason why we don't normally cover it, but they have the Titan mechanized platform, so I had to put it in. Sorry.
I'm just really curious though.
About what?
The fact that they mentioned a dog. The dog's gonna get shot.
So the dog
get shot.
Oh man.
The dog
it's gonna get shot.
The dog was a $65 million crowdfunding goal for pets. No, I'm serious.
It was.
Yeah. So yeah. So the fact that they, 10 years later, they're finally working into the game. That's good, right?
Yeah. And then the storyline is gonna get shot. You gotta be able to get a pet.
No. Your dog might get shot. My dog will not get shot. If I get to the point in a storyline where there's going to be a cutscene that shoots my dog, I'm uninstalling the game.
Wow.
My dog will never get shot.
Okay.
Duly noted.
I'm pretty sure they won't do that in the game. Oh, if there's a way to prevent it. There probably will be a way to prevent it if that's an option. Put it that way.
So
That's
I
my
don't
guess.
think it opens up the door for pets though in the game. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's a $65 million crowdfunding.
Mm-mm.
Let me look at that thing.
Nah,
real quick.
You kill my dog, I'm going John Wick up in here.
Yeah.
That's why it's gonna die. It's a perfect plot. Perfect plot.
Oh dear goodness.
Okay,
Dog
I'm
is
sorry.
exotic.
It's not 64. It's not 65 million. 64 million. So let me just read what it says. It says accomplished $64 million crowdfunding goal. Heck, we will have repair bot. We will have fifth, but we haven't implemented a traditional pet system in Star Citizen. As yet, at $64 million, that changes from Jones to Cat and Alien to Battlestar Galactica Daggett. Pets have a place on board Starship. Yeah, who remember Daggett?
Yeah, I
we
do.
want
The
to
little
give
robot
you-
dog.
Yep. We want to give you that option in Star Citizen. I expect traditional terrestrial option plus anything exotic we can dream up in the Star Citizen universe. Those horseshoe gray crabs that keep escaping are just a start. Oh, like those crabs you saw in the in the Jack McClay video. This stretch goes in honor of Paddington, Strike Dog of the UES Paul Speed. And out in one of our first videos, Paddington helped us get to $64 million back in the initial campaign and sadly passed away recently. So this was back in November 26, 2014. So yeah, pets.
I just want a cat like the one on Discovery.
Mhm.
Grudge.
Yes.
Grudge the cat.
Yes.
She's a queen.
She's a queen.
You know, I would be possible to get a Flurkle from Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
That's
That's gonna
cool.
be your
But see,
defense.
my pet is going to be the best one of all.
What was that?
What is that?
It's going to be the one. What was that? The movie we watched with Super Pets and the cat.
With the laser.
Oh, that's
Yes.
my second answer. Yeah, I called him the heavy artillery kitten.
Yes. That would be fantastic.
I'm gonna get a little bobblehead fast cart that just follows around behind me and hits this button going, no.
If anyone hasn't seen
No.
Mandalorian this season, go ahead and go watch Mandalorian this season. What were you gonna say, Chris?
Kai, you should have had to say no more bad jokes. No.
Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, it's too booty. Oh man. Anyway, so 10 minutes. I'm looking at my watch. Okay, got it. All right, so up next we have the Star Citizen Alpha 318 live release and free fly. So we're getting to free fly next, but I just want to cover this. This was posted yesterday by Zylo. Says, hi everyone, the much awaited release of 318.1 is set to launch later today, which it did. While we know that the incremental update is not a silver bullet, we expect that it will bring solution to some of the ongoing issues some of you have been facing. Kai, I'm getting some feedback from you, so just letting you know.
All right, I'll turn it down.
The team has implemented a tremendous number of fixes in the last 3 weeks and believe that the infrastructure is now ready to go through heavy testing with all of you. If you're one of those who said, this is the worst Star Citizen I've ever been, then hold our beer as we plan to launch a free flag starting Thursday, April 13th to April 20th. Yeah, I like that too. Jokes aside, and this is in parentheses, I wanted to be the first one to make that meme. In parentheses, launching a free fly event is a beneficial move for us as it allows us to test the game infrastructure with a large number of players. More players mean more data, which helps us to identify and fix problems more quickly. So a lot of us, I've been guilty of this in the past too. A lot of us always tend to complain whenever they do a free play after a patch because it bogged down the server. But they need that information, so I'm glad they specifically said that. That'll make more people understand. So yeah, any thoughts about the free fly right after a patch release?
It's live as of a couple hours ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, free fly too, yeah. Hot Thunder, thank you for the raid of 16 people. Hi, Raiders. We're covering what's going on in Star Citizen this week. We're covering the 318 live release and free fly at the moment, but we're going to cover the free fly in a moment. So welcome, Raiders. Thank you for coming. So yeah, I guess, there's not much more that I want to cover in this part. I just want to cover it. I love that she tried to make his own meme. So yeah, that it's good that they have a sense of humor about this stuff, even though these people have been frustrated and stuff like that. It's good that it's a video game. You don't have to take it too seriously. I know some people have put a lot of money into it, but still, it's good to have a level head about this stuff. That's my opinion. All right. So up next we have, this is happy to be here. Correct. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you, correct. So yes, we have the just from the RSI Twitter account. Free fire, get into the verse. Use the code get into the verse. And for full details, I'm clicking on the link, and you have access to the 100i, Nomad, Mustang Alpha, the Razor, and Hover Quad. And I love the first comment below that. Y'all doing 3 wipes in a row. 13 wipe, 13 1 wipe, 13 2 wipe. Gotta love Twitter sometimes. But yeah, so this is the Play Star Citizen for free through April 20th. And I just want to say, if you scroll down, you get the code, get into the verse. You can click on the code, copy it. And then you scroll down. This is my information. As long as no password, I can show that because, fastcart, actually fastcart. You type in the code, you get in and get your to use those ships for free. And I want to recommend people do this because occasionally, after you put in the code, like a few weeks after, or maybe a few days after, you may get some kind of reward, either a digital reward or some kind of discount, like through a Razor or what is that ship, or like a discount for a Nomad or something like that. You never know. So go ahead and put the discount, the code in, because you never know what's going to happen with that. But yeah, like I said before. Yeah, the Mustang Alpha, Nomad, Razor, and 100i, and the Hover Quad. And you can click on those to get more information through April 20th. They have discounted starter pack. I don't know if anyone is interested in these, but I just want to show people. You have a $40 Mustang starter Alpha package, 100i starter package for $55 and $50 US dollars, sorry. And you also have the Nomad starter package for $71.25 US dollars. These are all war bond. And the Mustang Alpha has three months insurance, and the 100i and the Nomad has 6 months insurance. But the big deal is these are all discounted. 10% off for the Mustang, 15% off for the 100, and 25% off for the Nomad. So they have they don't have LCI. You do get the chip cheaper. What was that, Chris?
I didn't say anything.
I said, and it comes with the game. That's an important thing to remember. It's not just the ship.
Yeah, it's not just a ship. It's a package. It's a starter package. So you definitely need a starter package in order to play the game. Because if you just get a ship without the starter pack, without the game package, like a Star Citizen, I'll click on one of these and you can see what I'm talking about. So you get the pledge including Nomad, also includes, click on the plus at the bottom. Star Citizen digital download. Without the Star Citizen digital download, you won't be able to play Star Citizen. And you also get some starting UEC, you get the insurance, and you also get a hangar. So that's why you want to package it as opposed to a standalone ship. Those are the difference between the two. Thank you for pointing that out. So yeah, any of you interested in getting a starter package, like for a friend or someone?
Not interested in getting a starter package, but we kind of went through the beginning where they showed the 4 ships or 4 vehicles. It's bold of them to put the hover quad on it. I just wanted to say that because the state the hover quad is in right now, I mean, I wouldn't want to introduce somebody new to the game.
It would just be an explosive experience. That's soldier.
Yeah, but you're right, Kalrati.
What's wrong with
How bold of you to assume that CIG would ever be reluctant to market anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, but what's wrong with the cover quad?
All right, so just starting out, when you go and spawn it, it's like at this like angle, like towards the ground. Then well, Kalrati can explain more about like the riding it and like it's not fun anymore. Like when they first introduced it,
Hmm.
Yeah,
This
they're
too
all,
shall pass.
So is it unrideable, or you just can't get into it, or just pawns incorrectly?
I mean, okay, so a good example would be when you leave the garage at New Babbage, when they originally introduced it, well, a little bit after they introduced it, you could, go out onto the ice almost full speed, no problem. Now you do that, it explodes.
Oh.
So yeah, so
Even at the highest altitude. Yeah.
yeah, no matter what hover height you have it at. So there's some bugs with it that didn't exist at the beginning.
Why isn't that in patch note?
Not everything makes it in.
The fact that it wasn't a problem before and is a problem that's popped up now leads me to believe that it's a transient problem.
Yep.
And when that goes away, you will be happy with your hover quad yet again.
Yeah, but
I won't melt mine.
For people who are doing free fly, this is one of the cheapest ships that you can get during free fly. So yeah, that's an issue, unfortunately.
For sure.
But CIG will get data. Hopefully the data will be worth it.
Yeah.
Can I respond to something that you said earlier? You pointed out that somebody had tweeted on the thing, oh, wipe for 18.1, wipe for 18.2, wipe for 18.3, wipe. I think it's important for people that are maybe newer to the project to understand what's happening. CIG went 1.5 years without wipes there for a while, and I think that they will again in the future. I think it's very important to keep in mind, yes, CIG is wiping every patch right now for the next several, because literally what they're working on, the big thing that they're spending all of their efforts on, is the persistent entity streaming and the server meshing stuff. Right now, those databases and all that stuff, they need to populate a shitload of stuff, see what causes problems, delete, wipe everything, do it again, see what causes problems. So if you're somebody who's sort of new to the project and you're like, well, this is discouraging, CIG wipes this game every couple months, there's no real point, I'm just going to wait. If you have fun testing stuff and trying new things, enjoy it. If not, maybe go away and play something else for a couple of months and just know that you're going to be able to come back later in this year and they'll have this database stuff figured out, and then it'll go back to testing other issues, which will be much less wipes again. So don't get super discouraged, wipe. This game just wipes every 3 months. This game wipes every 3 months for the next maybe 3 to 6 months. And then after that, fingers crossed, things will progress back to the point where, like I said, they had gone before all this stuff, they'd gone 1.5 years between wipes.
And then 4.0 comes out, and then there will be another big wipe, and they'll have to go through this stuff all over again. But yeah, so that's how game development is. But I do appreciate your advice. People can. This doesn't have to be the only game that you play. You can take a break, come back when things are better for you, or if you're bringing a ship that you're really looking forward to. So yeah,
Exactly.
thank you for that.
Thanks, guy.
And also, people who came in with the raid, we are discussing, so if you haven't figured it out already, but if you want to click the link, Discord link, you come in and chat with us, come and join us. So yeah, that is select the starter package.
I am very happy to be here.
The Galactic Good, thank you for the follow, appreciate it, welcome. So starter in free trial and referral bonus. We'll cover that more in a bit. But basically, through April 20th, download and play starts in free for 5 iconic vehicles. Cover that already. All referrals by May 2nd will receive a P52 Merlin for free, along with the usual referral reward. Check out the link below. We'll cover that in a bit. But yeah, if you use the referral bonus, you get a free P52 Merlin with LCI. So I thought it was interesting because I know that this has been out before, but I don't remember them putting it in a free fly and stuff like that page. But it must have. I just don't recall. But you have learning how to play Star Citizen and the Welcome Hub, and I think this is great for new players and a new player guide and all this stuff for new players. The fact and community made tutorial. And the guide system. I'm glad they put all this on the same page. Granted, you got to scroll down a bit in order to get to it, but I'm glad that they do it. I just hope people take advantage of them. Like this is the new player guide for Star Citizen. I have a video here, but I'm not gonna play it real quick. But it's a read my ship, and it's basically a fact of frequently asked questions questions you may have about Star Citizen. Have people checked this out recently, or have any thoughts about these, or good job, or maybe they can improve, or what?
So I was, I was pleasantly glad to see that this is coming on. This was included as well because as we get closer to 319 and the new player experience integrated into the game, now we know it's not only going to be at Area 18, but it's also going to be at New Babbage, if I recall correctly. It's going to be things like these are going to be integrated into the game. I'm not sure in what way because they haven't explicitly discussed that in detail. Most likely, we're going to see it in an upcoming Inside Star Citizen. But something like this, I definitely see them stressing more for, especially for the new players, and even for players who just want to remember how to get to certain things or do certain things as well. So, yeah.
I was wondering. It's been a while since I've been a new player, since I've been here since 2014. I wonder how long it takes for people to get acclimated to the game. Because I was watching someone who's but talking about different game, X4. I think it's on sale right now, so I was thinking about getting that on Steam. But I was watching a tipped and walkthrough video, and they said that in order to learn the keybind for X4. Hey, Divine Shadow, thank you for the subscription. Oh, thank you for the Disney subscription for how many people?
Divine Shadow.
Nice.
4 people? Thank you, appreciate it.
Of 40 people.
How many?
40, 10 times 4.
Oh, darn. Okay, that okay. Put truncated that, so I didn't see it. 40 people.
Thank you.
Dang. Thank you, Divine
very
Shadow.
much, Divine Shadow.
Wow, okay. Yeah, I got to make a note to Griffin for that one, because I don't think I've ever seen that many at one time. Thank you, Divine Shadow.
Nice.
So yes, I forgot what I was going to say now.
You're talking about X4 and the new thing and learning the controls.
Yeah, learning controls. So like, the person who made that video said it took them maybe a half hour to learn the control for X4, as opposed to take in Star Citizen may take them 2 hours. So I was wondering, that sounds about right. 2 hours to learn the controls for Star Citizen.
I mean,
having recently jumped into the game again, and taking a break between it, I'd say it's one of those things that depends on the gameplay loop you're doing, because getting the key bindings down if you're doing, say, mining is different than if you're doing combat. So I think it's one of those things where it might be over the course of a week or a month. It's like, I don't feel like I have to look at the key bindings. So I did like about a month straight, and it was like, yeah, I'm starting to get the hang of it. But then if you get into a different gameplay loop, then suddenly it's like, oh, what's that? So I think it's kind of, you have to use it a bunch before it becomes muscle memory. So maybe, a week of straight gameplay-ish.
I think also there's an extent to which, like, having the surface level of like, hey, I can take off, I can land, that's one thing. But when you want to get like a proficiency at, say, doing combat or doing racing or doing whatever, that's a whole other level of like the difference between I can request landing, I know how to do that. I can turn on my ship and bring, raise up, request takeoff permission, take the landing gear up and take off. That's one thing. But there's so many, like Star Citizen is a game. It's like chess. It's, easy to get the surface level, but you can spend your whole life, I think, trying to master it. I think so. For those who don't know, Boss Lady is a convert to Star Citizen. She's coming from the Elite Dangerous community. She's played a lot of Elite, and she's played like a month of Star Citizen. But I think she's about to start up a whole big thing of like doing Star Citizen several nights a week or whatever, and like getting really, really into it. And I think it'll be interesting to see as you see players that transfer sort of over to this game and pick up the skill sets and go deep into it and do like group mining and do stuff. Like as you see the levels of proficiency that go from like just beginner level Star Citizen to like, intermediate to advanced to like master level for different aspects of the game. It's really interesting to watch.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, I was just curious because, like I said, it's been a while for me. So, but I played so less often. That it's almost like I have to relearn every time I do come in because the keybind's changed. But that's pretty quickly for me to get around. But yes, this is the full bonus. We'll get to that in a moment to talk about the specific in streaming, salvage, all the stuff that you can do, and security post career reactivation, the PvP stuff. So yeah, that is the new player guide for Star Citizen. Gonna cover this pretty quickly to get to the Machinima. But yeah, we have this is the what's it called? That is it's a search bar for the article. New player. Okay, the vast collection of facts. Yes, that's what that is. The vast collection of facts. So basically, this is a support at support.rockspaceindustries.com site, and the guide and stuff like that. So how to play, check our site issue, console, and the spectrum, and submit a request and stuff like that. So yeah, you can check out have a whole bunch of information for people who are new and trying to get into the game and trying to learn the game. That's the point of that. And this is this is the guide. This is the hub that people put in for people who are all members of the community already and teaching you how to play the game. So yeah, that's another resource you can use to learn how to play. Some people some people learn better learning from reading. Some people learn better watching a YouTube video. So yeah, whatever you need, there's a guide for you probably.
And if I recall, for someone who wants to be a guide, they occasionally still have rewards. I can't remember the last time they awarded top guides, but I believe at least in the very
4
beginning
or 5
they
months
were.
ago.
Yeah, and so they haven't done it very recently, but hopefully they'll continue to do that to award those who are willing to spend some time in the game to so give some some new persons or returning persons some reminders of how to play the game.
Yeah, I
And you get those
remember.
cool
I remember
foundation festivals, Jens. Sorry.
I remember 4 or 5 months ago, fastcart on this show reading out in the weekly notes of stuff, reading out like, oh wow, this guy wanted this ship, this lady wanted that ship, this one wanted this ship, and it was like a
Yes,
list of 5 or 6 ships. It was really
Right.
cool.
it's called the Foundation Festival.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Thank you for that. Yeah, I've
thanks.
forgotten more stuff than I've learned. How about that? But yeah, that is definitely find a guide. Yeah, just to do for a bonus that we mentioned before, get a free P52 Merlin for free. Find out more. That is the form. You got the full bonus stock. You can read to that, but I just want to get to the bottom. Are there any limitations to the full reward? The P52 Merlin is given out as the full reward, includes LTI, and is non-mountable and non-giftable. But it is upgradable, so if you want to upgrade it to a more expensive ship, you can, but you just can't trade it and you can't melt it. So beware if you decide to upgrade it too.
And this is a smart idea, because the Merlin, I mean, you have racing in the game. A lot of the racetracks are near outposts that can spawn Merlins. And of course, if you want to upgrade it to a starter pack, you can always do that too soon.
Yeah, you can upgrade it to like a faster ship too, but yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And then with the aspect of play of the Merlin being, a snub for being able to, dock and whatnot, that adds other aspects of gameplay for people that are joining into the verse, as a group or whatever, husband and wife
Exactly.
or whatnot, brothers, whatever.
So this is from the Star Citizen World Tour 2023 thread. J.K. Capella had added an update. Provided a Sacramento date in May. Here's the details, May 14th in Sacramento. If you click on the link, hopefully Jay will put the link in chat. You can look into that if you're in Sacramento or nearby the area. So yeah.
Ooh, I might head over to that one.
Yeah, May 14th.
Fun.
Would that be your first Star Citizen?
It would be. I was going to go to the one in February, but it didn't quite line up right. So.
And also, this one will have CIG presence. So yeah, you'll be getting the full experience there. So go for it.
And aren't they giving away something kind of like we got the Banu Cube last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, there's Xylo. He's St. Barr citizen. Xylo appears.
Hey, Xylo.
Oh wow! Hey, Xylo. I didn't notice
Hello,
that. Thank you
Xylo.
for letting me know. Hey, Xylo. I haven't noticed you there. So welcome to the show. We were just talking about you. He won't know. But yes, up next we have our Machinima. Because I'm going to skip the. Well, I just want to say.
Breaking news from Xylo. The new item to be revealed at Alien Week in June.
Oh, thank you.
That is.
Cute.
I know what it
Exclusive.
is. I know what it is.
It's a brand new sphere.
No, it's a brand new land vehicle.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh.
Mm.
We'll see. We shall see. But thank you for that news, Xylo. Appreciate it. You're just in time. That's cool. Thank you. So yes, this week in Thoughts. I just want to cover briefly. Just to remind people, there's no ISC and no SCL, but they wanted to cover that. In addition to infrastructure side, the updating set of tools tailored for 18 load testing and virtual service client, we augmented and deployed improving the resilience of the system overall. This is a huge step for service testing as it allows publishing teams to perform large-scale tests automatically by having those virtual clients and logging flow through entitlement processing request ship delivery. With these updated tools, publishing teams are not able to validate whether the system is functions or not as it should under different conditions without needing QA or P2 deployment. So I just thought that was some good news as would come out of everything that's going on. So I hope you had a great past day, Xylo. So yeah, I just want to say no SCL tomorrow, no ISC today.
We're looking forward to the Vandal pyramid.
Ah. But we do have a Machinima, and this is from the TheAstroHistorian, or the AstroPub, as it's formerly known as. But this is called Star Citizen Jumptown War Documentary. Now, as you can see in the screen below, the title, this is 43 minutes long, so this will take the place of our ISC and SCL. So let's check this out.
This is so good. I was there.
We often think of wars as being between massive fleets and grand armies. Hell, for centuries, war has been exclusively a thing humans wage on other species, not each other. This place, it was different. It really was a war where everyone was on their own side. Human on human, wholesale slaughter. It's weird seeing this place so empty now. I remember alternating from running protection rackets to selling Widow when this place was at its peak. Part of me wishes we could go back, be there forever. The excitement was addicting, really. Now I just hope someday we can recapture what we had here in Jumptown. Paul Shelley, Jumptown Wars veteran, February 2950.
The Jumptown Wars were fought in a dozen places. From the cold surface of Yella to its orbital ring. From grim Hex to Cry-Astra refueling. More than 10,000 humans fought in it, and thousands of them died in it. Transport ships became drug runners, and fighters became enforcers. Huge fleets of human ships blotted out the skies, leaving human wreckage in their wake. Humans slaughtered one another wholesale here in human space, beside places with old human names. More people died than any previous conflict in Stanton. Whole fleets were reduced to ash in mere minutes. Men and women who had never committed a parking violation now found themselves drug smugglers in great convoys, fighting epic battles over a moon most of them had only heard about before. They were making history, and for many, it was one of the greatest adventures of their lives. The war would make some rich, ruin others, and change the lives of all who lived through it.
I find that living in the heavens suits me. Kelly Kaplan, CEO, Crusader Industries.
Like the many wars before it, the origins of the Jumptown Wars stretch back far beyond the first shots fired. First discovered in 2851, the Stanton system was always a special case. It was the only system to have multiple super-Earth-sized planets, and each and every one of them within the habitable zone. Stanton had 2 bidirectional large jump points connecting to Terra and Magnus. This meant Stanton was a new hub for faster trade between the major economic centers of Sol and Terra. The only issue was, when the system was first discovered by the UEE, they weren't the first humans there. Smugglers, settlers, and prospectors had already started to settle when the first UEE military forces arrived. Unfortunately for the first settlers, the system was too much of a prize for the military to allow them to remain. Declaring eminent domain on the system, the Navy brought in the most powerful ship in the fleet, a Bengal-class supercarrier, to enforce their will. Over the following years, the UEE Navy would systematically hunt down and remove every one of the squatters. Facing the might of the military, these settlers never stood a chance. By the late 29th century, the system was firmly in the hands of the UEE, who began terraforming the planets for human habitation. The Navy even built a lattice of platforms to float in the upper atmosphere of the partially terraformed gas giant Stanton II, to act as a shipyard and base. With the system firmly in their control, the government now found themselves in a quandary. What to do with it? The Empire was still in an economic slump, caused in the aftermath of the Messer dynasty. It was also in the middle of a century-long drought of colonial ambitions. There wasn't much hope to entice enough new settlers to colonize these verdant worlds, and keeping an active military presence to keep control of the system was getting expensive. Yet, they couldn't give up the economic and strategic system. What they needed was a way out, one that would come from an unorthodox place.
I am sick of people questioning our right to operate in this world. What is a corporation but the extension of the people? A government is elected through votes, while we have been elected by your credits.
Colonel Gavin E. Hurston.
With the fall of the Messers, many older companies tied to them fell as well. This left a vacuum which a few companies managed to fill. One of these was the long-standing megacorp conglomerate ArcCorp. Its latest claim to fame was its line of fusion engines, built by a struggling engine manufacturer, Novalite, who they acquired in 2811. Their engines had quickly become the standard, which all others are judged by. The issue they were encountering was the requirements to make their engines. There was so much demand that they couldn't keep up with the orders, and there just wasn't enough space for them to operate their factories efficiently. When word came that the UEE was struggling with Stanton, ArcCorp approached them with an offer. The company wanted to buy a continent on one of the worlds to serve as one massive factory. This demand was unheard of before, and many in the Senate were wary of giving one company so much land. Others, however, saw this as an opportunity to kill two birds with one stone. Given the unique nature of the request and the unique nature of the system, some senators proposed a more ambitious plan. They wanted to sell an entire planet of the Stanton system to ArcCorp. ArcCorp agreed, and after vigorous debate in the Senate, a vote was passed allowing the sale of all the planets in the system. The government had some caveats to these sales. The system would never get representation in the Senate, fearing that any representative from the system would speak to the interest of the corporations and not the people. All UEE common laws were to be enforced and followed by the corporations on the planets and orbital bodies of the planets. Local jurisdictions fell to the companies themselves to enforce as they pleased. ArcCorp agreed to the terms and asked for the third planet in the system. The Senate quietly sent out offers to bid on the remaining planets. Hurston Dynamics had interest in the first planet, as it was the hottest and most desolate of the four. They were in need of more space to not only build but test their weapons. Microtech showed interest in the fourth planet in the system. An accident during terraforming had caused the planet to be habitable but much colder than was expected. They saw the natural cold as a benefit for their supercomputers, requiring less energy to keep them at optimal temperature. Crusader Industries, the newest of the corporations approached, also had an interest in buying the gas giant of Stanton II. Originally, Crusader was offered a buy one get one free option due to the lack of land on and around the planet, but turned it down. Their goal was to convert the old base into a headquarters and shipyard to build their large transports more efficiently. The planets were given the names of their companies as their official titles, with Stanton II becoming known as Crusader. Crusader Industries CEO, Kelly Kaplan, named the moons after the main characters of a popular 24th century morality tale called a gift for Baba. The story followed 3 siblings as they made their way from Mars to Jupiter's moon, Europa. They were traveling to give the perfect gift to their grandmother, Baba. The moon that was covered in over 100 volcanoes was named after Selin, who was the most angry of the children. The dusty red moon, with an almost perfect orbit around the gas giant, was named Daymar, after the child who was most easily lost in the story. The cold moon, covered in a water ice crust, was named Yella, after the oldest of the siblings, who was said to be cool and calculating. Little did anyone know that the cool world would soon become home to the cold and calculating realities of war. During the early years of the UEE's control over Stanton, many prospectors made their way into the system with the government's blessing. The ring around Stanton II's icy moon was especially valuable. So much so that Green Imperial built a housing exchange, or HEX station, inside one of the larger asteroids. This was meant to be a temporary structure, offering a bed and some basic services to those lone prospectors around Yella. As the system developed with its new owners, it quickly became a mecca for industry from all over the Empire. Scientists, entrepreneurs, mercenaries, traders, and haulers all flocked to the system to take advantage of the burgeoning trade. New outposts were built all over the system, including the moons of Crusader. They ranged from mining operations to research labs and even family farms. This economic boom attracted other unsavory types to seek their fortune as well. Pirates, outlaws, smugglers, and other criminals snuck their way into the system, raiding and picking off vulnerable transports, leeching off the success of these new lands and the lack of formal protection from the UEE. Because of the dangers and the stiff competition from larger groups, many of the entrepreneurs and independent outposts and stations of the Stanton system were abandoned, left to the elements. Green Imperial's HEX station was no exception. As the valuable materials of Yella's ring were mined out, fewer and fewer people called the station home. Finally, Green Imperial would officially close the station in 2938. The former mining hab would not remain closed for long. New gangs like the Nine Tails, Nova Riders, and countless other syndicates and outlaws took up residence and used the abandoned station as a lucrative base of operations. Many of the abandoned outposts also found themselves repurposed to be dead drops for smugglers or rally points for pirates. One in particular, a former research lab in the southern hemisphere, nestled inside a crater against a large mountain, quietly opened up in 2948. The locals would come to call it Jumptown.
While the level of crime here is typically no higher than many places in the Empire, visitors should be cautious travelling to more remote areas, such as the asteroid belt around the moon Yella, since outlaw attacks have been known to occur.
Humanity has always found unique and creative means to reach altered states of reality. Since the dawn of civilization, we have been attempting to numb our senses, escape reality, or free our minds with numerous substances. Widow is the street name for an ink-black synthetic opioid that is injected as a liquid. It is often used as a sedative, relaxing the users. Extensive use of the drug stains the user's veins black, creating subcutaneous patterns throughout the body, reminiscent of spider webs. It is a Class A controlled substance in the UEE, with fines up to 10,000 UEC if caught trafficking, and up to 4,000 for possession. Despite this, it is still a very popular recreational drug. Everyone from the poor to rich engage with it. It is also not too difficult to manufacture, requiring minimal tools and ingredients readily available, making it very easy to obtain. When Jumptown began operations in early 2948, its premier product was Widow. At first, sales were moderate. Many criminals in the system found themselves turning a good profit by buying from Jumptown and selling the drug all over the system. As word got around, more and more people would flock to the outpost, from hardened crooks to part-time smugglers. Still, only a minority of the population knew about Jumptown, let alone the profits to be made selling Widow. There were occasional conflicts, but it was always localized, little more than the normal conflict between rival gangs. None of them knew that an economic shift in metals would turn their small businesses into vast empires, and the small skirmishes into a full-blown drug war.
Well, I mean, in the beginning, as a legitimate hauler, it was the best thing that could happen. All of the pirates that had plagued the system before were tied up, and competition for outpost trading was tied up since everyone wanted to do the Jumptown run. Then the pirates started attacking the Crusader Cryastros. It got dangerous enough that I joined a large PMC. I figured there'd be safety in numbers. Ammon Grask, November 22nd, 2948.
At the end of 2948, an economic recession swept over the Stanton system. The local traders, whose livelihoods depended on cross-system trade, were seeing less and less profits. Some had none at all. In desperation, many sought out new trade routes. At first, only a few of them had ever heard of Widow. Even fewer knew about Jumptown. While guides had always existed to find the off-the-beaten-path outpost, in November of 2948, users on Spectrum began to post directions and coordinates to the drug lab. This set off an explosion of interest in the site and its lucrative trade. Like always, when there is an opportunity for profit, there are those willing to capitalize on others' hopes. Mercenary companies started to offer protection for those ill-equipped haulers, while pirates saw this as a perfect chance to make a quick buck. In the ensuing months, Jumptown would become a household name in the system, infamous for the lucrative business and unbridled barbarity that went on there. People from all walks of life were making their way towards Yella to try and capitalize on the new market. One of them was an independent pilot named Chugdatarn. He would later document his one and only experience at Jumptown for posterity on Spectrum.
As many contracts at the time weren't exceptionally lucrative, I figured I'd start up my Avenger Titan and head there for a piece of the action. Entering through the front door, I discovered that half a dozen people were there before me. Unbeknownst to me, they were taking turns purchasing Widow. At the time, I was oblivious to the fact that commodities were in limited supply, so I'd cut to the front of the line. At the terminal, I spent every last bit of AUEC I had filling my cargo bay. In hindsight, another unwise decision. It wasn't until I had taken off and began to pick up speed that I glanced down at the comms. Someone identified me by name and announced a standing kill order on me. My afterburners had never ignited faster.
The flood of activity picked up as 2948 came to a close. With the arrival of military surplus Aegis Hammerhead corvettes, the battle for the skies of Yella was increasing. These ships were perfect for one of the most successful ways to make money, and it wasn't off the drug itself. Groups would take over the lab and charge an entry fee. This extortion was known as toll boothing. A pilot going by the name Devil Dog Hog wrote down his experiences dealing with such a toll booth during the war.
After jumping to Yella, I went to the rendezvous to meet up with the rest of the formation. We had about 5 birds of various types that the guys brought. I mean, we're all private contractors, so it was whatever's in the hangar, you know? One guy had a Gladius, another had a Hornet. I think I remember seeing a Saber in there, too. Once we formed up, we all set towards JT to scare off this toll booth. The flight lead squawked over the global comms.
Hey, whoever's squatting JT, beat it.
His reply was pretty short.
Make me.
We all made sure we were ready for a fight and started to put our game face on. At about 15K out from Jumptown, he showed up on the radar, and it looked like he had buried himself into the crater. That told me he had a turret, and was probably operating as an AA platform. I started to search for a missile lock to blast him out of the hole that he crawled into, when our lead ship came over the comms.
Oh shit, it's a hammerhead.
I guess that explains why he was so successful as a toll booth. At 5K out, we started to receive fire and dropped to the deck so the rim of the crater would obscure his line of sight. As we crested over the rim, I could see he had wedged himself into the far side of the crater opposite of the JT complex. I barely had enough time to lock with missiles and squeeze them off before I got lit up. I banked hard and started to evade. Those size 5s tore through the Penguin's hull like it was made of paper. Systems were going critical all over and failing before I even reached the other side of the crater. That shark was ripping me to shreds, so I did the only thing I could, and I punched it out before it was too late.
Many tried to find counters to the new threat, but the shields of the former military ship proved too tough for conventional means. Some turned to the new 2948 Origin Jumpworks 600i, whose collective firepower was just enough to bring down the Aegis juggernaut. Still others found a more novel approach. With the release of the new Anvil Aerospace Aero fighter, a solution was found to deal with the hammerheads. With the shields off, the ship could mount 3 Hurston Dynamics attrition laser cannons. The attrition line of weapons is unique, as the heat buildup of the weapon would translate to more damage, meaning the more you hit your target, the higher damage each shot would give. It effectively could bring down a hammerhead entirely solo. This configuration of the arrow became a favorite of a pilot named Fractal, who posted video clips of his time during the conflict. He called himself the Jumptown Landlord and was infamous for toll boothing. He is responsible for at least 15 confirmed kills during the conflict, and his records are the best documentation of this configuration used during the war. Not all fought in the skies of Yela. The crater around the outpost became a killing field as pirates and mercenaries alike felt their best bet was to control the lab directly. One such operation was called Project Nomad, led by the members of the Immobile Infantry Mercenary Corporation. The aim was to lock down the drug lab under the guise of anonymity. Purchasing several specialty armor sets, the mercenaries dressed up like the nomads of Lear 3 and held Jumptown for several hours. Their footage showed how effective their methods were. With their team armed with Apocalypse Arms Scourge shoulder-mounted railguns, they were able to destroy or fend off any who attempted to land. The Scourge was used very effectively during the war by those on the ground. One pilot who used it to great effect, going by the handle Buster the Destroyer, talked about her time in Jumptown fondly. Her experience was typical of most who came to Jumptown.
My favorite thing to do was to take a stolen ship down, land it as bait, and position myself on foot under the drug lab itself, equipped with a good old Apocalypse Arms Scourge railgun. Nothing, I mean nothing, was more fun than to watch someone come shoot down my stolen ride and then thrust around the area in absolute confusion, assuming they were being fired upon by another ship in the area. The Jumptown Wars, they weren't about preventing or aiding drug trade. They were about chaos and the hunt itself. To hell with law and order. Sometimes you just wanted to shoot those foolish enough to ask across comms, "JT safe?"
Not everyone came to Jumptown for profit. Some came to observe the carnage up close. Diabolus, a filmmaker famous for his time-lapse work, stayed on the edge of the crater for 24 hours to record the coming and going of the various ships, a snapshot in the day at Jumptown. Most of these witnesses were seeking to make a record of the event, or at least have their own stories of a moment in time many were already coming to realize would be recorded in history books. One such bystander, Buzzard, wrote about an experience he had while overlooking the drug lab.
Dawn was breaking, and I crawled to a position where I could watch the Jumptown hab itself. To no one's surprise, it was a violent affair. I watched 2 Connies on the ground get vaporized by a marauding wildfire hornet, and that was just the beginning of a long day of aerial combat directly overhead. Dozens of ships came and went. Some were successful in getting Widow and escaping with their cargo. Others were not so lucky. Many laying scattered all around the crater turned into nothing more than wreckage. And then a hammerhead appeared out of nowhere and started just laying waste to anyone who dared approach. In the middle of all this, a freelancer attempted a landing. When the Hammerhead opened fire, the pilot just turned and engaged it head-on. It was unbelievable. A battle of guts, determination, and pure firepower. They moved out of sight, and I don't know what happened to the Hammerhead, but after 5 minutes, the Freelancer came back, landed, picked up a load, and left like it was nothing. I don't know who that pilot was, but I always wanted to tell their story.
A Hammerhead and about 6 or 7 fighter escorts were holding Jumptown hostage. If anyone wanted to reap its rewards, they had to pay a price. Soon, on Global Chat, everyone found out this group of guys decided to down a Connie after he had paid their price. Turns out it was into a he said, she said type of argument, where the freighter pilot was accused of opening fire on them first, which made no sense if he just paid 10,000 Alpha UEC. We weren't fooled. We mobilised. There may be, 20 of us in this ragtag group of vigilantes. We attacked, and we had our asses handed to us. Davis 1891, February 2949.
As the war dragged on, not all felt it was good for the system. Many began to vocally demand that Crusader security do something as the months-long conflict was spiraling out of control. Militias were formed to clean up the area, hunting down pirates and freighters with equal vigor. The feel of the conflict was changing. Gone were the heady days of independent haulers making more credits in one run than they had the entire year before. Groups were becoming organized, tolling more common. By March, you were as likely to be attacked by vigilantes as you were by pirates. The lines were becoming blurred. The tide was changing, and everyone could feel it. This sentiment was very present in the account of Shio Gorath, who wrote about his time in Jumptown with bittersweet memories.
As time went on, the protection rackets grew, the trader-on-trader hostilities lessened. Everyone had lost their fair share of ships and cargo, and, we were all starting to resent the multi-crew gangs more than we feared a single craft trader. A quick JT clear was a common broadcast back then. What response you got would dictate whether you could make any money that session. Usually overconfident hitmen and glaives would try to demand ransoms, but there was never a king of JT for long. Anyone who sat above JT was sitting under the sword of Damocles. Well, all of this was for a mostly unmarked, seemingly unimportant shack out in the middle of nowhere.
Crusader Industries remains the most charitable company in UEE space, and the good they have enabled across the Empire is undeniable. However, some critics question Crusader's methods, suggesting instead they allocate these funds towards tighter security measures. One expert even referred to Crusader's rising security costs as the biggest financial threat to the future of the company.
There was a rising call for the government to step in and deal with rampant violence around the drug lab. Independent haulers who didn't participate were growing tired of the rise in criminal elements in the system. Those who had transitioned from lawful pursuits were finding it frustrating, as many lost their entire savings in runs that were met with disaster. Many turned to the UEE to step in and stop the conflict. Because of the nature of the system, however, this proved difficult. In the middle of the conflict, the UEE Senate had convened a meeting with Crusader Industries CEO Kelly Kaplan. The Senate had concerns that the system was out of control of the corporations who were charged with its protection. Crime was on the rise, though no one in Seoul knew why. Crusader had been caught giving false data about the rising crime to the UEE advocacy at the start of the Jumptown conflict, which had the company in hot water with the government. Ms. Kaplan was there to discuss how they were dealing with the rise in crime. She also unveiled a program called Crusader Cares, a watchdog program that was used to help clean up the system and gather more data. The CEO explained that their crime rates were on par with the rest of the system. Just when the committee was to vote on closing their investigations, one senator, Kilos Albervar, a transitionalist from Terra, challenged the validity of the numbers.
Senator Albervar, you may proceed.
Thank you, Chairperson Escher. Mrs. Kaplan, what can you tell me about Jumptown?
I'm sorry, Senator. Could you repeat the question?
This report appears to claim that Crusader has become better at tracking crime within its sovereign space. Yet, my staff on Seoul were able to uncover repeated criminal activity at a location known colloquially as Jumptown on the Crusader-controlled moon of Yella. My question is, are you familiar with the location and why has nothing been done about the criminal activity there?
Chairperson Escher, I'd like to request a 5-minute recess to use the facilities. Could I also get a refill on my water? As you can see, I've drank all of it already.
Granted. Everyone, consider this a tight 5. Once we're back, we'll proceed with Senator Albervar's questions.
When they returned, the truth came out. The 5-month-long conflict for the drug lab, the rise in smuggling, and the numerous reports of violence on and over the surface of the moon. Crusader reiterated its desire to improve the system and to work with the advocacy to deal with the issue. In March of 2949, Jumptown was changed forever. An economic uptick in the system meant more and more haulers were returning to their legitimate business routes. Fearing the reprisals by the Senate, Crusader Security issued new patrols to intercept and scan ships more frequently. The final death blow was the opening of rival labs around Hurston and ArcCorp. The traffic to Jumptown slowed, then stopped almost altogether. A few remained to eke out a living with the drug. The heyday of the conflicts for Jumptown had passed. While it did not have the epic scope of the Tavaran Wars or the visceral threat of the Vandul War, the Jumptown War was uniquely human. Not only was it human against human, but it was fought for some of the oldest and most profound human reasons: desire, greed, sympathy, and hubris. For that reason alone, the Jumptown Wars should be remembered, for it brought out the best and worst in humanity. These stories are true accounts taken from the people who were there, the veterans of the conflict, now presented as a living record of the event. While no one knows what is in store for Jumptown, one fact remains undeniable. It has made a significant impact in the lives of those who lived through the Jumptown Wars.
And I hope we enjoyed that. We're back. Yep, so that was the Jumptown Wars by Paul Shelley, or TheAstroHistorian. So let's go in order. We had Boss Lady B and Kaizen had to step away. But face to face, what are your thoughts?
Well, excuse me, sorry. I've seen it before, but definitely it's always a good revisit. Paul Shelley does this thing, you know, especially when it comes to a subject you think that it's going to specifically be on Jumptown Wars, but he gives you the beginning, which meaning leading up to the event, and then the the cause and effect afterwards too. That springboards off of those events. So it's definitely, he does his work and his due diligence in these lore guides.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. I made a note, but I forgot to read it. Was this new to anyone? First time watching this?
This was my first time.
Oh, this is your first time.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay and Pops.
I saw it. I was there.
Oh, you were there,
Like,
right? Obviously.
yeah, I was. I think there was a shot of me in one of those. But yeah, I saw it, and you know, yeah.
Oh, how about anyone in chat and Pops? Is this your first time watching?
No, I've seen
You've
this
seen it before. Okay.
or
Okay.
maybe
Go ahead.
maybe I don't know. I think I watched it just before Jumptown 2.0 came out.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, CIG embeds this on their site for whenever they do Jumptown. This is like the go-to video they use.
Yeah, we had a couple people in chat saying this is their first time, so cool. All right, Jade, what are your thoughts? You were there, as you said.
Yeah, so yeah, you can ask me anything about the old Jumptown days in 1.0. I mean, this did a really good job in capturing the evolution of it, like how it started out. Nobody, like I was there when it started out. Nobody knew what Jumptown was really. People were taking fully loaded caterpillars. You'd sit there. At first, you could just go there and buy all the drugs at once. And then later on, they added like the amount of time you had to wait. But even then, like you could land a caterpillar, and because almost nobody knew about it or knew how to get there, you were safe. Like JT was safe at one point, but it was way at the beginning, right? And then once people started figuring out they could make a lot of money, they started posting guides, right? That's why I say if you find something you can make a lot of money at and you want to keep making money at it, don't post the guide on Spectrum. But yeah, so the whole evolution of lawful players into becoming drug runners and like just basically, at a certain point, there were people that were just like, to hell with being lawful. I want to watch the verse burn. I got my whole ship shot down with a full load of Widow, and I don't have any money. I'm just gonna kill everything, right? And that added that whole chaos element into it. And you never knew what you were gonna get. And that's what I loved about it was, sometimes you could go there and it would be totally calm. And this was, for people that have only known Jumptown 2.0, there was no machine spitting out Widow boxes, and there were no Congo lines and any of that. This was just you go to the terminal and you watch your back to make sure you didn't get shot in the back. And
Jade,
it was amazing.
I just want to say one thing. You said don't make a guide because if you want to make money, that person probably already made all the money that they needed. Then they made a guide. What do you think?
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt about that. But about the documentary itself, I love the community involvement. Like you look at the credits, and it's like a who's who of everybody that was, kind of a content creator back then. That was like,
I kept seeing names I don't see anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, sadly.
Mhm.
And then the score was written by Utho Riley. Like to
Riley.
me, yeah, like he's the community's Pedro Camacho, right? He made a score just for this documentary. I mean, it's phenomenal. I'll shut up now about it.
All right, Pops, how about you?
Oh wow, I thought it was interesting the way that Paul did this, because he tied in lore, the whole lore about Stanton, because it started out about Jumptown, and then it went into the whole lore about Stanton, and they made a 360, and it came back, and it brought Jumptown in at the end. Because at first when I watched it, I didn't know that. I always thought Jumptown was part of the lore. I didn't really realize that it was something that players came in and did. So from this, it how
gameplay.
How he tied that in, and it became part of the lore from players doing it. It came out with 2.0. I thought that was I thought it was very interesting the way that he did that. That whole cycle that he went through. Yeah, it was very cool, very, very educational, and my hat has always been off to Paul. This is my first Paul video.
Oh, okay, cool. Your introduction to Star Citizen, and that's a good way to be introduced. Cool. Thank you.
Black Sky Legion in chat mentioned that this all started because of a bug. Because that whole thing of where you could just load up your ship all at once, that was a bug. And the amount of drugs that were being, produced. There was also a cool thing back then that if you brought in astenine gas, and I don't know if this was a bug or not, the production of the facility would go up. So you'd see caterpillars bringing in a big load of astenine, selling it, and then by loading up on Widow and then taking it to either Grimhex or Levski.
Cool.
And yes, that was back when we still had Levski.
Yep. And Kalrati, how about you? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Paul and crew definitely captured that formula that presented so many persons' perspectives. Because when I played Jumptown at the time, I don't think, like Jade said, nobody really knew, or at the time we didn't really, especially at the beginning, we didn't really dub it any name. It just slowly emerged from, like Kai said, from a bug. But everyone just slowly started to hear about it. So they started to do their own thing. I mean, personally, when I did it, I didn't go there to do any trading. I just went there to either snipe or shoot people via FPS, be it good or bad. And it just brought so many people together. It was a very fluid generation of a very dynamic event. And we know that it's a formula that CIG is trying to, and they're slowly getting there to regenerate. But I mean, personally, I'm confident that they'll be able to get there with multiple different events. But I don't think that they'll ever be able to actually reflect how unscripted something like this really was, because we will. Yeah, because we know that they will put it into game design, sure, and through quantum and such. But we know it's the thing like these will occur, even if it's unscripted, it won't be able to actually reflect how truly unscripted this really was. But once again, much credit to Paul and everyone who contributed to this, because lots of us who read the lore and such, and leading up to the generation of Jumptown, we've known about the history of Stanton and such, but how he was able to narrate it, how everyone was able to actually contribute and talk about the development of Stanton leading up to these events. It was beautifully crafted. I think they used the material from the lore and also put in their own magic in it, very, very effective. And yeah, it was extremely well done.
I have a question, if I can ask.
Make it quick. Go ahead.
Yeah. What came first? The Daymore Rally or Jumptown? I'm just curious.
Well, Damon's been in the lore, but I mean, Jumptown was a physical thing. I'm not sure.
So
I think Jumptown was 2020.
I can
Daymar
answer
Rally?
this.
Go
I
ahead,
can
go ahead.
answer this. Yeah. So Daymar Rally started out as something called Shubin the Eager Challenge. And it was just what's now the first leg of the Daymar Rally. And I believe that started in 3.0. So it was around the date that the 3.0 came out. It turned into the Daymar Rally within that same year. I think it was the first Daymar Rally was 2948, so 2018. And Jumptown, I believe, predates that. From what I
Because we didn't have
yeah.
procedural landing at the time.
Yep.
For 2.x patches. So
Right.
Jumptown definitely first.
Yeah, SD Town said he said Jumptown came first, then I came over with 3.0. So yeah, good job with you, Jay. Thank you. And,
Oh, sorry, we did have procedural landing at the time, but yeah.
Cryptic Shaw, thank you for the subscription from Prime. Thank you for that. Yeah, I just fast forwarded to get to the credits again. I just want to be real quick about my thought. I'm glad there's some people the first time watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I like the concept art that they were showing during the video, like the prospector in the hall. I haven't seen some of those in a while, and I love the guest narrators like Buster, Miss Hart, and a whole bunch of other people that we haven't seen before. So I'm seen in a while. Sorry. So yeah, so that was cool. And if you want to check out Paul's other video, I'm pretty sure he had other videos with collaborations just like that. So check out Paul's channel. All right. So up next with that, gonna go with this in the show. So we have Podshot. There's no show voices this week. This Saturday, but it will return the Saturday after that. But that'll be Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. And every Saturday we have Podcast Saturday or Podshot, starting with show voices 3 p.m. Eastern. The After Pub, Captain Table 6 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. UTC, and Relay at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that'll be 1 a.m. UTC. So check those out. For the next show, Kalrati, you want to tell them what's up next?
Sure, it is going to be Is Nyx Next? As in, is Nyx System the next star system that we're going to be getting? For some time, everyone's been speculating, especially since we've had Delamar. It's been moved. We've seen some footage, some from the sneak peeks and all those things. But join us this upcoming Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be talking about all the speculations, all the signs, and all the rumors, and all those things coming up to this point that may confirm or help us to speculate with closer confirmation. Nothing confirmed yet. We don't know. But join us, and we're just going to talk about all of the possibilities of Nyx being the next star system after Pyro.
That is Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern on midnight UTC. So thank you for that, Kalrati. I just want to say thank you for everyone for joining us. We had Boss Lady B and Kaizen. Also had Fish to Face, Jade, Cotton Face, and thank you for my lovely and beautiful guest, Kalrati, over here. Thank you for that. Don't do that, man. Don't do that.
So I'll include my OnlyFans in the chat.
Handsome and manly.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah,
handsome and manly.
Yes.
So if you want to become a soul bro, soul sister, soulmate, click the link, the join button on YouTube. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, or follow, depending on what platform you are. Write it on YouTube or Twitch. Make sure you follow us on social media or Soul Citizens with Estonian everywhere. You can buy merchandise. Click the link below for that information. And I think that's it. Let me end before you raid. Say, good morning, Jumptown. For a flashback from the beginning of the show. We're going to raid Zero State. So send them our love from Soul Citizen. So with that, peace, love, and soul. Take care, everybody.
Good night, lovely and beautiful.
Bye.
And the raid has gone through. I'm closing down the stream.